Hello, Taproom Coach here, and let's start talking about the final thing in your marketing plan is action and implementation plan. Now, I've kind of jumped around a little bit and did a couple of things on the business plan. I kind of forgot about the marketing plan, so let's toss this in before we get too farther into the business plan. And let's talk the first part of your final step of the marketing plan. The media plan, just as it sounds, it's what are you going to advertise on. Generally, the two popular sites are Instagram and Facebook, but there's several other things out there: Threads, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. There's probably a dozen other things that I can name off real quick. But it's your plan to use those, kind of, what your intentions are. On Facebook, are you going to do some events? In Instagram, are you going to just kind of post some pictures of the products out there, maybe some pictures of the food, maybe pictures of the brew system, just kind of giving a general feel of what you're going to do with your media plan. Also, you might want to talk about newspaper or radio ads. Probably not too much use for that, personally saying, but when it comes to if you're having a major event, probably wouldn't hurt having a radio ad if you think you're going to have a big enough event to kind of help draw in a little bigger crowd. We did radio ads once for a St. Patrick's Day celebration and did a pretty good turnout for that. We were actually victims of our own success. What we thought we were going to do, we actually doubled that number. So just kind of keep that in mind as your whole, just kind of a total outlook of what you want to do for your media plan. Then you have your budget. It's kind of laying out what you want to use as far as like pushing on Facebook. We would do kind of like weekly events of, say, trivia. We would probably push that for 2 weeks with $20. If we were doing a kind of like a band, we would push that probably about $30-$40 and have that 6 weeks out. And in the larger events, we would push that 2 or 3 months out with about $120. So that's just kind of the guidelines that we used. Of if you're going to budget in for some radio ads, it's going to be a lot more expensive. That's why we kind of focus those on the bigger events. Never use newspaper, but probably not a bad deal if you're running some food specials or what have you, to try to attract in the crowd that reads that. And typically not a demographic that you might not be reaching with social media. Especially say like a brunch on Sunday, perfect advertising for that. So just keep that in mind as you look forward to your schedule. We kind of covered already, of what you want to run, of 2 weeks for your typical events that you have every week and such forth, and also kind of schedules. Do you want to post every week about the large event that you have coming up, or do you just want to post every 2 or 3 weeks for the large event? You're just laying out the scope of what you want posted on your Facebook or your social media to allow the person that's running it to understand where you're coming at and what you're trying to achieve. That way there's no confusion there. As long as it's written down, there's a game plan for that person to follow. Should be pretty easy. Keyword there is should. And assignments. Who's doing this? Is this going to be you, the owner? Is this going to be your front of house manager? Is this going to be someone else? Is the person doing the social media posts, are they also in charge of doing the radio ads and the newspaper ads? If you choose to do that, you're just laying out assignments of who's responsible for what. That way it's just a clear picture and there's no confusion. Even with the clear picture, there's going to be confusion, so try to minimize it as much as possible. It gets pretty chaotic in the business, so there's always new things coming up every day, and just having that good foundation to help you along and try to make your life a lot easier is just worth its weight in gold. So this kind of wraps up the marketing plan. We'll dive back into the business plan, get that going out there, and remember, always use data and metrics to drive your volume and profit. Cheers.